If you follow Saudi Arabia for the moon, why don't you read Jummah when Saudi Arabia do Jummah? Why don't you open your fast when Saudi Arabia open their fast? Why don't you read your Fajr when Saudi Arabia read their Fajr? Why is it only you pick and choose Saudi Arabia when it comes to moon sighting? And this problem for the last 30, 40, 50 years in this country, where we've had split Eids, is simply because we have some Muslims in this country who prefer to follow Saudi Arabia rather than follow the local moon sighting. For this
It's shocking to know that a lot of these Hanafis who do not even know what's in their books, okay, they do not know what's been mentioned in their books of fatwa, and then they are going out to argue with those people who are not following. My point to highlight is that you must respect this view, and it is not only Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, Ibn Abdul Barr rahimahullah also goes on to mention about this Malikiyya view, and there are hundreds of scholars who have clearly said that Ittihadul Mutali, the global moon sighting, is what we take into consideration. They are giants in the field of fiqh and hadith in the past 1,000 years, okay, who are taking this. So according to Imam Abu Hanifa, the view is of the global moon sighting, and this is mentioned in Rad al-Mukhtar. It is also mentioned in Fathul Qadir as well. وَإِذَا ثَبَتَ فِي مِثْرِ لَازِمَ سَائِرَ النَّاسِ. He mentions that when a certain city has seen the moon sighting, then it is binding on all the people to follow that moon sighting. فيلزم أهل المشرق برؤية أهل المغرب في ظاهر المذهب وقيل يختلف باختلاف المطالع. And he goes on to mention that the people of the east are obliged to follow the sighting of the people of the west according to the soundest position. And then he mentioned that اختلاف المطالع, يعني कि the local moon sighting, it's the weaker opinion, and he mentions very clearly that the global moon sighting is what should be taken into consideration. This is the Hanafi perspective, the proper Sunnah way, not to just go and to rely on other countries. That is later on. Okay, I must make this very clear. You do not just go and follow any of the local countries who you want to follow, but rather the first step is that you must do your own ru'yat. If you do not see the moon, then you can go as a second step towards either global moon sighting or local moon sighting. To understand is, first of all, ikhtilaf al-mutali and ittihad al-mutali. Ikhtilaf al-mutali means your local moon sighting, like for example following Morocco or another local country, and the other one is ittihad al-mutali, also known as wahdatul mutali. This is meaning that the global moon sighting. Imam Abu Hanifa himself is on the view of global moon sighting, not on local moon sighting. This is not the view. So for all those people who say that why are certain Hanafis not following the local moon sighting, then they need to really check up in their books, so that the Muftis are not telling them that what is actually mentioned in the books of Fatawa. Imam Shami rahimahullah, he mentioned this very clearly. The Hanafi perspective of the moon sighting issue is the global moon sighting. Local moon sighting is considered to be the weaker opinion in the Hanafi mazhab. This is the Imam Shafi rahimahullah, his view of the local moon sighting. For example, following Morocco, Rad al-Mukhtar. And this is a very well-known book to all the Hanafis. For the last hundreds of years, this is the book which the Hanafi scholars use. In fact, no Hanafi can become a Mufti unless he has studied the book of Allama Shami rahimahullah, and this is what the Hanafi scholars accept, and what he had mentioned in his book clearly, and he says وَزَاهِرُ رِوَايَةِ الثَّانِي وَهُوَ الْمُعْتَمِدُ إِنْدَنَا وَإِنْدَ الْمَالِكِيَّةِ وَهَنَابِلَةِ لِيَتَعَلَّقُ الْخِطَابَ عَمَلًا بِمُطْلَقِ رُؤْيَةِ فِي الْحَدِيثِ صُومُوا لِرُؤْيَتِهِ بِخِلَافِ أَوْقَاتِ الصَّلَاةِ. He mentioned that the global moon sighting is the Sahih Riwayat. This is what we will take into consideration. This is Imam Abu Hanifa's view, okay, and it is also called the Malikiyya and the majority of the Hanabila as well. So this is very clear, and he also mentioned that those people who try to argue that well, your namaz, when you do that, do you do that according to the global timing, or do you do it according to your local timing? He says very clearly here that this mas'ala is different. Every mas'ala has its own usul. It is derived from different hadiths, so we must not use these kind of ways to distract the people from not following the global moon sighting. Now the next question comes, where Saudi come from? Okay, so when you talk about Ittihad al-Mutali, yani ki the global moon sighting, that means that the Qazi can now pick one of the countries which he wants to, like for example Iran or Pakistan, Turkey, Africa or Saudi Arabia. It just happens to be that our scholars, they decided to pick Saudi Arabia because of ease. Okay, so that is the reason why they do it. Even the scholars themselves in Saudi Arabia, they say that why are you following our moon sighting, and they say don't follow our moon sighting. This has got nothing to do with them. We ourselves are doing this because this is our choice. We make the choice of who to follow. We are not binding upon any scholars from Saudi Arabia or from anywhere else that who we need to follow. We just follow this because this is where Rasulullah was, this is where Medina Sharif is, and we respect that more than any other land. So we choose to follow Saudi Arabia, and this is in relation to Ittihadul Mutali. Okay, and this is the Hanafi view. Now the other view is Ikhtilaful Mutali, which is the local moon sighting. I personally like the second view, which is in regard to the local moon sighting. I am in favor of this because of the hadith of Quraib, who is the Tabi'een, and this hadith is mentioned in Sahih Muslim, and it is an incident which took place at the time of the Sahaba Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, and also Muawiyah when they was a Khalifa, and even at that time they adopted the view of the local moon sighting, not the global moon sighting. So this is where I think, subhanallah, we have even a Khalifa. We don't even have a Khalifa at this specific time. So a job of a Khalifa, when he says that you must do something, then it is binding upon everyone to follow that. But we see from this hadith, the hadith of Qurayb, very famous hadith in Sahih Muslim, where he was sent on a mission by Fadl radiallahu anha to Sham. And he says when he got there, he seen the moon on a Friday, he followed that, and when he came back later on to Medina, Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu asked him in regard to when did you see the moon? We saw it on Saturday. So he himself clearly said that we are not binding on Hazrat Muawiyah radiallahu anhu, but rather we will follow our local moon sighting. So this clearly shows that the local moon sighting is one of the main views that was done by the Sahaba Ikram and the Tabi'een. So we must respect this view. And also in regard to the global moon sighting, there are giants of Fuqaha and Muhaddiseen who have adopted this view. And the main point to highlight is we must respect both of these views and not go too extreme and to say that this is wrong what here people are doing, why are they following Saudi? So that is, like I mentioned, it is in regards to the Ittihad al-Mutali, that is the global moon sighting. We are not binding on any other scholar or any Saudi person to who should we follow and who we should not follow. Okay, so this is completely up to us. We choose to follow Saudi Arabia out of our own will. And also in regards to the history of what happened here in the UK, they used to follow at one point the Morocco moon sighting, but this became an issue in the 80s, and I don't want to mention the whole history, but then they went on to following the Saudi moon sighting because this news came a lot more quicker. Okay, so then some of the scholars went back to Morocco moon sighting. So our like Wifaq ulama, they follow the local moon sighting. So Wifaq ulama, they first of all go out and see the moon themselves, which is the sunnah. This is a proper sunnah way, not to just go and to rely on other countries. That is later on. Okay, I must make this very clear. You do not just go and follow any of the local countries who you want to follow, but rather the first step is that you must do your own ru'yat. If you do not see the moon, then you can go as a second step towards either global moon sighting or local moon sighting. I hope that makes the matter clear. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make matters easy for us. Subhanallah walhamdulillah.